Hello everyone. In the previous class we have discussed switch logic and gate logic or restoring logic. In today's class we will discuss other forms of CMOS logic. There are different forms of CMOS logic. We have already discussed few. So in this today's class we are going to discuss the different forms or other forms of CMOS logic. They are pseudo NMOS logic, dynamic CMOS logic, clocked CMOS or C square MOS logic, then CMOS domino logic, and NP CMOS logic. The first one is pseudo NMOS logic. So the figure shows the example of the pseudo NMOS logic. So as the name suggests, it is an NMOS technology itself. It is a NMOS technology which was the predecessor of the VLSI approaches. The same circuit is slightly modified and called as pseudo NMOS, in which PMOS FET is used as the load. So as you can see, the upper transistor, which is PMOS FET, which can be used as a load instead of dynamic MOS FET, DMOS FET. So the figure shows the example of the pseudo NMOS logic. So this logic structure consists of pull-up circuit being replaced by a single pull-up PMOS whose gate is permanently grounded. So as you have seen in the figure, the upper transistor, which is called as a pull-up transistor and which is PMOS type, whose gate is permanently grounded. That means it is always on state. This actually means that the PMOS is all the time on. That is, it is always on because as the gate is grounded and this is the input required to switch on the P transistor. That's why it is always on. And that now for an N input logic, we have only N plus 1 gates. So as we have learned CMOS circuits in which both PMOS, P logic and N logic is required. So for CMOS circuits we require 2N number of transistors, whereas here in the pseudo NMOS logic we require only N plus 1 gates, where N is the number of inputs. So whatever the logic expression that you get, so how many number of inputs that you get, so that many number of transistors plus 1 P transistor. So total only N plus 1 gates are required here. So this technology is equivalent to the depletion mode type and preceded the CMOS technology, and hence the name pseudo. So how the name pseudo, this type of NMOS logic gets is because this technology is equivalent to the depletion mode type. So NMOS type we have discussed. So this is same as that one. Only thing is that depletion mode transistor is replaced with this transistor, P transistor. So depletion mode type transistor, and it is preceded the CMOS technology. Hence the name it has got is pseudo NMOS. So the two sections of the device are now called as load and driver. The upper one is the load and the lower part is called as the driver. This is a ratioed logic. Remember, this is a ratioed logic where an adequate ratio for beta driver by beta load is selected. But pseudo NMOS has the advantage of N plus 1 transistors for an N input gates. In addition, the capacitive load on each input is 1 unit as 1 transistor. Remember here, the capacitive load on each input is only 1 unit as 1 transistor and is used for each input. Hence, pseudo NMOS offers higher speed and smaller area when compared to the CMOS. But the disadvantage of this pseudo NMOS logic is the static power dissipation, as the load transistor is always in the on condition. As we have seen, the P transistor is always in the on condition. That's why there is a static power dissipation whenever the NMOS logic is also in the on state. So hence the conclusion is that in order to use pseudo logic, a trade-off between size and load or power dissipation has to be made. So example, implementation of this logic expression, Z equal to A into B plus C plus DE whole bar using pseudo NMOS technology. So this expression A into B plus C plus DE is drawn using, that is, NMOS logic, that is, dot operation is performed using transistors connected in series, whereas plus operation or OR operation is implemented with transistors connected in parallel. So A plus BC plus DE whole bar is drawn using N transistors. As it is a pseudo NMOS logic, the load transistor is only a P transistor whose gate is permanently grounded. So the logic diagram or schematic diagram of the equation Z equal to A plus BC plus DE whole bar is shown in the figure. Second one, dynamic CMOS logic. So as you can see in the figure shows the dynamic CMOS logic. So the dynamic CMOS logic consists of N plus 2 number of transistors. As you can see in the figure, N logic block is required. To draw the N logic block, you require N number of transistors, then one precharge transistor and one evaluate transistor. So precharge transistor is P type transistor and evaluate transistor is N type transistor. So total number of transistors required to draw the dynamic CMOS logic circuit is N plus 2 transistors. So in this in this logic structure, the clock is utilized in much different way. So as you can see here, the clock is connected for precharge and evaluate transistors. So the clock is utilized in much a different way. So this logic looks into enhancing the speed of the pull-up device by precharging the output node to VDD. So we need to split the working of the device into precharge and evaluate stage, for which we need a clock. Hence it is called dynamic logic. So here operation of this circuit is performed into two parts. That is, it is split into two parts. One is precharge, another one is the evaluate. So this logic looks into enhancing the speed of the pull-up device. So pull-up device is used to increase the speed of the device by precharging the output node to the VDD. So the output node is precharged to VDD by the PMOS and discharged conditionally through the NMOS. So we will see the operation, how it works. So when clock is equal to 0, Z is equal to 1. So as clock is equal to 0, the P transistor is on and rest all N transistors are, that is another N transistor which is connected to clock is off. So whenever clock is equal to 0, remember that Z is equal to 1, because Z is connected through the P transistor to the VDD. That's why when clock is equal to 0, Z is equal to 1. This is called as precharge phase. So when clock is equal to 1, so remember another operation. The first operation is precharge phase in which clock is equal to 0, so Z is equal to 1. In another operation, that is when clock is equal to 1, this is called as evaluate phase. Whenever clock is equal to 1, the requirement is that the inputs of the n logic should not be changed. It is not allowed to change the input whenever the clock is equal to 1. Thus, the static CMOS is made dynamic by the inclusion of the additional signal. So this circuit does not have static power dissipation. It contains n plus 2 transistors and the input capacitance is 1 unit each. Thus, dynamic CMOS logic has higher speed as well as the lower floor area. Disadvantages: inputs have to change during the pre-charge state and must be stable during the evaluate. So remember here, during the pre-charge state, you can change the inputs, but during the evaluation phase, the inputs must be stable. We are not supposed to change the inputs at all. So if this condition cannot occur, then charge redistribution corrupts the output node. So if this condition is not satisfied, if this condition cannot occur, then the charge redistribution corrupts the output node. Then second disadvantage, a simple single dynamic logic cannot be cascaded. During the evaluate phase, the first gate will conditionally discharge, but by the time the second gate evaluates, there is going to be a finite delay. By then, the first gate may pre-charge. So, this circuit, dynamic logic, here only a single stage can be used. You cannot cascade the same structure with the next level or 2-stage or 3-stage dynamic CMOS logic. You cannot perform. This is a problem because a limitation. This is a limitation because a simple single dynamic logic cannot be cascaded. During the evaluate phase, the first gate will conditionally discharge. The first gate, it discharges, but by the time second gate evaluates, there is going to be a finite delay. By then, the first gate may pre-charge. There will be a delay occurs, so you are going to get an erroneous output. That's why this circuit cannot be cascaded to the number of stages. So this is the same expression, Z equal to A plus BC plus DE whole bar, but you have to implement this one using dynamic CMOS logic. So as it is a dynamic CMOS logic which consists of n plus 2 transistors, again the n logic is drawn, the same n logic, but pre-charge transistor and evaluate transistors you have to draw, then connect a clock pulse to the gate of both the transistors. So this is nothing but a dynamic CMOS logic. The third one, clocked CMOS logic. So as you can see in the figure, this is a block diagram of a clocked CMOS logic. So this logic is realized by including clock into the regular CMOS circuit. So remember here, this is a realization of a CMOS circuit itself, same as CMOS circuit, but you need to include a clock to the regular CMOS circuit. As you can see from the block diagram, the above is a P logic block and the below you have a N logic block, same as the CMOS logic. But why the name is clocked CMOS logic? Because in between the P logic block and N logic block there are 2 transistors which are connected with the clock pulse. So thus, as from the block diagram you can observe, the number of transistors get increased to 2n plus 2. That is, n number of transistors are required for the P logic block, another n number of transistors are required for N logic blocks. So 2n, then 2 more transistors required for clock pulses. So 2n plus 2 number of transistors are required here. But the advantage is that the pull down transistors operate at a lower VDS. The N logic block, the pull down transistors operate at a lower VDS due to additional N transistors. Thus the hot electron effects are minimized. So we have discussed the second order effects in which there is an hot electron concept. So hot electrons effect is minimized as because of N logic block or the pull down transistors are used here. So this is an example C square MOS logic, that is, this is a NAND gate, 2 input NAND gate. So P logic block, that is A dot B whole bar, which requires a P logic blocks. P transistors should be connected in parallel, N transistor must be connected in series, and in between there is a clock pulse, clock bar and clock, and the output is taken between the two clock pulses, that is nothing but Z. The same expression Z equal to A plus BC plus DE whole bar, so that is implemented using a C square MOS, that is a N logic block is drawn at the bottom, P logic block is drawn at the upper side, that is we have to use the concept for CMOS circuits. The same concept is used here. In between the P logic block, N logic block, 2 more transistors are required here, that is a clock pulse and a clock bar, that is one is using P transistor, another one is using N transistor. So this is an example of C square MOS. So this logic is realized by including into regular CMOS circuit, so number of transistors get increased to 2n plus 2. Advantage is that the pull down transistor at a lower VDS due to additional N transistor, thus hot electron effect is minimized. Fourth one, CMOS domino logic. So the block diagram of the CMOS domino logic is shown in the figure. So as you can see in the figure, it is same as the previously whatever we have discussed, that is dynamic CMOS logic, but a slight modification is done here. As you can see from the figure, for the dynamic CMOS logic, at the output side a inverter is connected. So this arrangement is called as the CMOS domino logic. So N logic block along with precharge and evaluate phase. Then for the output we have connected a inverter. So this makes a cascading problem which was there in the CMOS dynamic logic, that is rectified by using a CMOS domino logic. So the cascading limitation of the dynamic logic is overcome with the domino logic by the inclusion of a static CMOS inverter at the output side. So this is a block diagram of the CMOS domino logic. So in this we are able to cascade logic blocks with the help of a single clock. So the precharge and evaluate phases retained as they were. So the change required is to add a buffer at the end of each stage. So there was a problem of cascading in a single dynamic CMOS logic, so which is overcome by including a inverter, static inverter at the each stage of the dynamic CMOS logic, which makes it CMOS domino logic. So this logic works in the following manner, that is when the clock is equal to 0, that is during the precharge stage, the output of dynamic logic is high and the output of the buffer is low. So as we have seen the operation earlier, same way whenever the clock is equal to 0, what happens? The P transistor is turned on and whose output is high. So that output is connected to the inverter. That's why the final output is low. That is, the output of the buffer is low. So when the gate is evaluated in the next phase, so after the pre-charge stage, the evaluate stage is performed. So when the gate is evaluated in the next phase, the output conditionally goes low and the output of the buffer goes high. So the advantage are that we can use smaller gates, achieve higher speed and get a smooth operation. So during the evaluation, when the dynamic logic output makes a transition from 1 to 0, the buffering inverter makes a transition from 0 to 1. Thus, there will be no erroneous states. So, in the previous section, we have discussed the dynamic logic. So, in which there was an erroneous output occur. So, the cascading facility was not there. Here, cascading can be possible by including an inverter. So, during the evaluation phase, when the dynamic logic output makes a transition, that is, it changes from 1 to 0, the buffering inverter makes the transition from 0 to 1. So there will be no erroneous state and hence any number of gates can be cascaded together here. So there is no fixed limit here. You can cascade any number of gates. So this is an example of the equation Z equal to A plus BC plus DE. So using the same logic, dynamic CMOS, that circuit is drawn, pre-charge state and evaluate phase is included. At the output, we have to include a inverter. So your final output is Z equal to A plus BC plus DE. There is no bar here. So this is a logic of a domino CMOS logic. The last one, NP domino logic. So NP stands for, again, N type and P type transistors, domino logic. It is also called as zipper CMOS. So this is a refinement of the domino CMOS structure. So the previous structure that we have discussed, that is domino CMOS logic. So this is the refinement of the domino CMOS structure. So as you can see from the figure, the first stage is precharged high. So as you can see, the first stage, it is same N logic block and you have a P transistor above and a N transistor below. A clock pulse is connected. When clock is equal to 0, the P transistor is on and the first stage, it is precharged high. The second stage is precharged low. So as you can observe carefully the figure, the P logic block is included at the second stage. P logic block and the clock bar is applied to the P transistor and clock is applied to the N transistor. So the second stage is precharged low here. And the third stage is similar to the first stage. It is again the third stage is precharged high. As the subsequent blocks are complementary network, here the subsequent networks, the first stage, second, then third, like this. As the subsequent blocks are complement to each other, they are complementary network. There is no need of an inverter here in between. So as you can see in the previous structure, that is domino CMOS structure, in which the inverter was required. So the requirement of the inverter is not essential here in the zipper CMOS logic. That's why it is called as refinement of the domino CMOS structure. So here first stage is precharged high, second stage is precharged low, and the third stage is precharged high. Thus there is a reduction in the parasitic capacitance. Due to this reason, the charge leakage and charge sharing problems are solved. and the higher speed is achieved here. So this is a refinement of a domino CMOS structure. The first stage is precharge high, second stage is precharge low. As the subsequent blocks are complementary network, there is no need of an inverter in between. Thus, there is a reduction in the parasitic capacitance. Due to this reason, a charge leakage and charge sharing problems are going to be solved here, and you can achieve a higher speed. So this is a comparison of the different logic structures. That is, factors considered here is number of transistors, capacitive load on each input, major advantages and major limitations or disadvantages. The devices used here is static CMOS, BiCMOS, pseudo NMOS, C-square MOS, that is clocked CMOS, dynamic CMOS, pass transistor, domino logic, and the last one zipper CMOS. So as you can see here, number of transistors required is differ for a different logic structures. So here highest number of transistors required for the C-square MOS, whereas lowest is for the pass transistors. Capacitive load, so few requires 2 units and few requires only 1 unit. So advantages are shown here. Every device has few advantages and every device has few limitations. Thank you for watching the video.